Hi, this is Mayor David Stahl with our first edition of Totally East Brunswick. This show is dedicated to keeping you informed about all that is current in our great community. We'll either present stories of interest with our residents or provide information about how our government works for you. Today, I'm here with Anita Chen, a 17-year-old East Brunswick resident with an amazing talent in the world of music. Hello, Anita. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me a little something about yourself, some of your background, how long you've lived in East Brunswick.
Well, I was not born in East Brunswick, but I came here when I was in third grade in elementary school. I went to memorial school and have been going to East Brunswick schools, public schools, since then. And I started playing when I was 3, so before I moved here. But I actually moved here right after I auditioned into the Juilliard School pre-college division.
It's pretty amazing. And you're in the high school now, or you're homeschooled?
I'm homeschooled, but technically I already received my GED diploma, so graduated.
That's amazing. So did you come from a musical family?
I would say pretty much, yeah, because my parents are both vocalists and play the piano and a Chinese instrument, so I guess I got my genes from them.
You said you started playing both the piano and the violin at an early age. When was that?
I started piano first, around 3.5, 4 years old, and then a couple months later I discovered the violin, and I decided I should try that too.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, did you just immediately switch to the violin, or what made you change or take both instruments at once? For young children, usually it's hard enough just dealing with one instrument.
Well, I guess it was out of curiosity, the violin, because I thought it was a cool-looking instrument, so I decided, to try it, and I asked my parents if I could learn it, and they said, of course. So it was nothing of force or anything.
When did your parents or your music teachers realize that you had this above-average type talent in music?
I'd say a year into my learning. I started learning piano from my mom, and she, I guess, realized, I had perfect pitch, and I learned pieces faster than my brother, and so
I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that.
I hope not. But so she sent me out to another teacher, and they decided I should try for a Juilliard, and I auditioned and I got in.
As I think, what did you say, you were 5 when you started at Juilliard?
I was 7. I got in when I was 7.
Did you realize at that time that you had these unique talents?
I feel like I was still too young to really realize that this is what I'm good at. I just have people around me telling me, so I just took it as it is.
And when has it dawned on you now yet, at this age, that you are pretty good at both?
I feel like, I'm old enough, I'm mature enough to understand that now. And it's not only because I guess I'm good at it, but it's really my passion, and I love playing. So,
for myself, who's not musical, but I enjoy obviously listening and going to symphonies and concerts. It's very rare for one performer to be equally adept at more than one instrument. What was the reaction of your teachers and your colleagues when they see how talented you are on these 2 instruments?
Well, that really depends. I have had several teachers in the past, and some of them really were not encouraging at all. They had some doubt and said, you really need to pick one and stick with one, because it's impossible to play 2. Nobody in the past history could play 2 equally well. So I said, it's not what I wanted to hear, of course. And then I switched to my 2 teachers now, and they support me 100%, and I feel like that's all I need to succeed. So.
Do you think your ability to play 2 instruments has provided you with more opportunities than if you had just been proficient in one?
Yeah, I think so, because learning musically, I think I could take some things I learned from violin and apply it to piano, and vice versa. And also, I have more opportunities to play in different ensembles, and beside of solo work. So.
Any possibility of a third?
I think I'm good for now.
I can imagine. You indicated before that I think your mother was instrumental in getting you started with the piano. What role do your parents play with you now in terms of your musical career?
Well, they don't interfere with my practicing or learning musically, but they support me, of course. They're my parents, and they want me to do to do this and really challenge myself. And
But they're no longer involved in the actual teaching?
no.
Right.
I feel like they think that they don't know as
They
much
took
as
you
I
so
do.
far, and now it's time for
Yeah.
the teachers. I think before, when we had a chance to speak earlier, you have one of your teachers is now also in Italy?
Yes, it's my piano teacher, Oksana Yablonskaya. She has her own institute in her name in Italy, and it just opened up this past year.
Now, how does that work with you in terms of your daily practice schedule? Maybe you could tell us a little bit of what you do every day to keep involved in your musical world.
Well, every day, if I don't have to go out to the city or something to New York for lessons, I basically just practice. I mean, I feel like that's the whole reason why I dropped school, because I needed the time. So
You keep working on, when you say practice, is it's the same piece for a while to really learn to master that piece, or are you learning pieces and new techniques at the same time? Remember, you're talking to someone who, these fingers could never play a piano, so help me understand what it is that you would do.
It's a little bit of both. Well, not a little bit, a lot of both. But I practice several pieces at once, not just one piece that would get incredibly boring. And I learn new techniques, of course. I still feel like there's so much more to learn. And so I focus on that when I practice. That's what I mean by practice.
And I've seen you play, and I know that you play without any notes or paper in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that part of what you learned during your daily routine of the memorization of the piece?
That actually just comes naturally now. I mean, I know that I can't perform a piece without playing it by memory. It's just not right. It's like the piece of paper separating me from the audience, and it's not professional.
But that just came naturally to you think, or is it just a trait that you just developed over time? Because for me, watching you play, it actually adds to the performance, knowing that it's coming all from your heart and from your mind.
Yeah, of course it came from work. Like, I didn't just memorize things naturally. I had to work, measure by measure and memorize the notes.
Again, you're only 17, and you've spent so much of your time in the musical world. Have you felt that you've missed out of the normal teenage life in any way?
I don't think so at all. My parents are really good at about that. They don't let me miss anything. Birthday parties, slumber parties, and anything. They don't. I have as many clothes and shoes as any other girl my age, so I really don't think I missed out on anything, and I think that's really thanks to my parents.
Now, you've played both as a soloist and an ensemble. Do you prefer one over the other?
I solo pretty much. Mostly I play solo work, but I really love ensemble. I like playing with other people, and so I really have no preference, but I'm trying to get out into the world as a soloist, so.
So some day in the ensemble, we might see you at another swearing-in of a president who had that nice ensemble. You've had an opportunity to travel to play some music. Can you tell us about some of the places and countries you visited?
I've been to, I guess the first place I've been to was Moscow, Russia, and I went there to make a recording, my debut CD, with the Philharmonic there. And that was when I was 13. So after that, I've been traveling to Europe a lot, Italy, Germany, France, Spain, and I recently just came from Germany, actually. I played a concert there. I've also been to Mexico. And
Of all those places, anyone in particular, any concert stick in your mind is the favorite?
I would say Italy. I had a concert tour in Italy. It was 6-7 cities that we traveled in 9 days, and it was really memorable because I've never done that in my life. It's so hectic, and it's so busy, and it's just exciting. And
well, talking about exciting, I know later this month on February 22nd, you're going to be playing in, is it Zanko Hall?
Yes.
Which is part of Carnegie Hall, one
Right.
of the world's most celebrated concert venues. What does that mean to you?
It
I mean,
means
you've arrived. What does it mean?
it means so much. I don't even know where to start. Carnegie Hall. I've played there. I played in Weill Hall and the Isaac Stern Auditorium, but those were not solo recitals. They were part of a organization or something. And this time on February 22nd, I'm just so excited and so, I don't know, scared to perform there, because really, I think this concert's going to mark the rest of my life. That's how important it is to me.
And then again, with the concert hall right here in New York City, close to hear us in East Brunswick, how would residents, because I know they'd love to come watch you, what would be the best way for the residents to get information about the show and possibly purchase tickets to come see you play?
Well, there are a few ways. First, I mean, you can visit my website. It's www.anita-chen.com, and you can go to concerts, and there's going to be a link to click for tickets. Another way, you can go to carnegiehall.org and just type in my name, and you'll find also another link, or you could just go there to the box office.
Right, like I said, I've seen you play. I would encourage, our residents to come out and watch you. It really will be a tremendous night, because, like I said, you're incredibly talented. We're going to watch a part of the concert, a recent performance that you gave, I believe it was over the summer, with the Greater Bridgeport Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
Right now, we'll see you on the violin and a little later on the piano. Could you first tell us about the violin piece that you played?
I played on the violin the Paganini Concerto in D major. It was an arrangement by Fritz Kreisler. I mean, it's a really challenging piece, and I just hope I gave it the best that I could.
Were you satisfied with your performance? Or are you always very difficult on yourself?
I'm not very difficult on myself. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but to be honest, I really am pretty satisfied with this performance.
Well, that's good. And while we're talking about your violin, I understand recently you've upgraded your violin, so to speak. Could you tell us about your new violin?
Yeah, well, it's a different violin than I played from the concert. In the concert, I played a $1 million violin. It was loaned to me by a really prestigious violin shop in New York. But I recently just purchased a French violin by Jacques Bouquet. It's really an antique. It was made in 1720 and pretty expensive. But it's really, I really think this is my violin for life. I just feel like I have this connection with it, and I know it sounds a little silly, but
No.
it's just, you know, I know from the first note that I played on it, it's just, I know that I had to have it. So.
That's interesting. No, it's
Yeah.
as I said to you before, watching you play, you could tell the passion you have. So obviously you need the instrument that you're comfortable with.
Right.
So now we'll also be watching you play with the piano, on the piano. What were you playing that night at the symphony?
I was playing a Mozart piano concerto. It was number 21 in C major. I mean, I don't think I chose to play that, but I think my teacher did, and she felt like I expressed myself well through Mozart. And I mean, I'm not crazy about his works, but I like it, and I liked my performance, actually, to be honest, more than I did for my violin performance.
How do you think your performances were received by the audience and the critics?
Well, there was a really good review, so I'm assuming that they took it well. And I played 2 encores, so and the audience standing ovation and whatnot. So.
Well, going back, you mentioned you played Mozart at that symphony. Have you already selected the pieces that you're going to be playing up at Carnegie Hall?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any input? Are we playing Mozart? Are we on to something, maybe something that you would be more happy with?
No, I'm happy with Mozart. I really am. It's not like, I hate.
I'm sure he understands that.
Yeah. No, as for my program for this concert, it's a little bit from each era. There's Baroque, there's classical. I'm playing Mozart again. It's not the same piece, obviously, but there's romantic, contemporary, and modern. So it just goes in order, and I think that's it's really smart of my teachers to decide on that program because they know what the audiences want.
Now again, you're playing the violin and the piano. Does that present a problem for you switching between the 2 instruments because they are completely different? It's not like they're the oboe or the clarinet. These are completely different, as I said, instruments. Where does that take you? What do you have to do?
I don't think I particularly practice on that. I just, when I'm working at home, when I'm practicing at home, I play one, and then right after, I don't really take any break between one or the other, and I just play, and it just comes naturally. I mean, I don't think it came naturally before, but now it does because after so many years of practice.
In the years to come, as your career continues to develop, do you see that you're just going to be dedicated to performing? You're looking to teach. Where would you, see Anita Chen in the years in the future?
I'm hoping, aside from performing, around the world, of course, I'd love to teach. I'd love to, be, I guess, a professor in a conservatory or something like that. I mean, right now, I don't really like teaching. I actually have a student right now, but I guess it's just because I'm 17. I really don't know that much to teach about teaching, and I think that comes, from experience and really learning how to teach and how to, I don't know, I guess pass down, what I have.
Do you feel like you're a role model for the young musicians out here in East Brunswick today? I mean, I think you should be.
I really never thought about that, but I mean, I hope so. Now that I'm here, and I hope people will see, what I've become, and that they appreciate it.
Well, Anita, I think yours is a very fascinating story, and I'm sure that, as I just mentioned, that many young musicians here in East Brunswick would like to follow. I want to thank you for taking time to speak not only with myself, but everyone at home here in East Brunswick today. This has been Mayor David Stahl, and I'd like to thank you for watching our first edition of Totally East Brunswick, a show dedicated to keeping you informed about what's happening here in East Brunswick. As I enjoyed chatting with Anita Chen today, I welcome speaking with all the residents of East Brunswick. Please feel free to contact me at the Mayor's office at 732-390-6810 to discuss any issues that you may have. Again, thanks for watching, and have a great day.